Sales Tax Commission meeting to order. Could I call upon Ted Duckworth to provide us with a quick indication?
Sure. Lord, we just thank you for this day. Thank you for the city of Jackson and the people here that are serving to try to make this a better place, just that we could honor you with our words and our efforts, and to ask that you be here with us and guide us and give us your wisdom, and bless it in your name. Amen.
Amen. Yes. Next, all of you should have received minutes from Commissioner Perry last night, and hopefully you've had time to review them. Riveting reading.
The June ones were sent out about a month ago.
Yeah,
Last night I sent June again and last night.
that was actually helpful.
We did not adopt May and June, so we need approval for both of them.
Do we have any
Enter the
changes,
passcode.
concerns with the?
You make a motion for both, to approve both?
You are the only
Motion for
participant
both.
in the meeting.
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion on the meeting minutes the last 2 months? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Let me say this about the minutes. Traditionally, I prepared those from when the city was posting the video of our meetings on Facebook, on the city's website and Facebook. I don't know if the intent's going to be to continue to do that or not, I don't care. Those two meetings were not on Facebook. We had to go to the city, and somebody sent me a copy of the transcript of what he did to do it. So we asked today to get him to come back. We appreciate him coming back. I hope, Mayor, David, that we'll have at least, whether y'all live stream it, post it or not, I don't care, except for making the minutes.
Also, a PEG operation.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But those two were posted, was one reason it kind of took a long time to get them, but that's it. Point of order on the piece of business we need to deal with if we can.
Yes.
Now that we've adopted the minutes. According to the statute that Creative Commission, which is 2765-241, any member that misses 3 consecutive meetings is disqualified from holding office on the commission. Former Mayor Lamumba has now missed 3 meetings. Today will be 4, assuming he doesn't come in. And according to the statute, that automatically disqualifies them. So I don't know whether an action is needed or not. I think a recognition that he has missed and the vacancy exists is probably what needs to be done. If we need to take an action, we can do it. If somebody wants to input to it, but otherwise, according to my reading of the statute, and despite the fact that it's been pointed out in a couple of meetings that I'm not a lawyer, I can still read statute. It says they're disqualified from office. So to me, we have a vacancy now. It means by the statute, it's still 6 people for a quorum, but we need to recognize the vacancy, and that means, Mayor, you would have a vacancy you need to fill. Also,
My question, Pete,
all right, also,
is the mayor serving by virtue of his being there?
no, sir. The mayor's not. The city has 3 appointments. Section 7A says there are 3 appointments by the mayor approved by the council. The mayor's not on here as a member. Now, Mayor Yarber appointed himself. Mayor Lamumba appointed himself.
First mayor.
No, first Mayor Lamumba died before we ever had our first meeting.
Right.
Our first meeting was not until like August. The commission started in March, and he had died. So then Mayor Yarber appointed himself. Mayor Lamumba second appointed himself. But the mayor's not automatic. He had a term on here, a 5-year term. The vacancy that exists now would be filled, and despite the wonderful work done by the former city attorney's office and their reading of the statute totally incomprehensible, like any other law and any other organization, the vacancy is to fill the unexpired term. It's not starting a new term. So if you appoint somebody new, it's got to be approved by the council, subject to confirmation, and the term would end in March of 2027. But he was not on here. Now, in addition to the 3 city members being appointed, the mayor designates the chairman of the commission. And so whoever, and it has to be from one of the 10 members of the commission. So the mayor designates the chairman from the commission.
Right.
So,
Question. So right now, there's one vacancy
correct.
from the mayor's perspective. Mr. Valenbeck is the other one, and then Mr. Wright's the other one, is that correct?
Mr. Wright's term, I would have to go look at the list. Mr. Wright's term and Mr. Valenbeck's term are 26 and 28. And I've
But
got-
they're the three appointments.
They're the three city appointments, and they're staggered terms.
All right, so I appoint myself to the unexpired term of,
That will count once you get confirmed.
The council has to confirm.
Council has
yeah,
confirmed.
but that's gonna be my.
You say that to the council, but that's,
That would be my nomination. I'll take under advisement the other appointment.
yeah, but just to let you know that they're, and I don't know that we need an action. I think the statute's pretty clear that it just says you're disqualified if you miss it.
The question then is what we do with Commissioner Wright's.
Yeah, I think for clarity, while I think the statute is self-executing, I think this body should declare on its minutes that there is a vacancy. It doesn't have to state how that vacancy occurred, but there is a vacancy by the fact that the former mayor has missed 3, now 4 meetings. And with that vacancy, then I think the mayor can take the action he intends to take.
We'll put that in.
Do we need to make a motion, or do you just want to state it as being out loud?
State on the record, I believe.
I'm going to defer to y'all on how you want to do your minutes, but I think there needs to be something in the record that there is indeed a vacancy.
So moved, that's the statement.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of letting the minutes reflect there is a vacancy? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Yes.
Yeah, so I know with Commissioner Wright, I'm not sure if it's appropriate to maybe reach out to him and find out what his intent is. Because what I did realize with the communication that goes out, goes to the city email, and he doesn't have access to that.
That's true. What's kind of funny is I sent it to the email address that we had,
Right,
and the one to Lamumba got bounced back to me as undeliverable.
right,
Mr. Wright's did not get bounced back to me.
right.
So I don't know what's happening to it, but I think that's probably appropriate. Somebody needs to, whether that's the commission or the city. I don't know. I mean, we can send him a notice if you want us to send it from the commission, we can do that. But and if we had a new email address for him, I'd be glad to.
I think as the appointing authority for the position that Mr. Wright holds, it's appropriate for the mayor to reach out to him.
I think that would be appropriate too, Mayor. I would prefer that, but it's myself. Okay.
I'll do it.
Now he attended the June meeting, missed the May meeting. He attended the June meeting, so he ain't got the absence issue. But the question is whether he wants to try to continue.
Right.
He does have a term appointment based on the wonderful piece of legislation that came out of the legislature, which I think is appropriate. But it's I think if you would do that, it'd be helpful.
All right. No further discussion on that. Let's move on to Commissioner Malinbecca for an update on the financials.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So what I'll go over with you is this report that has Fund 173 and 157 on the back. And this is captured through August 11th. Net obligations that I have recorded here are $175.25 million. Revenues plus interest at $171 million. And life-to-date expenses at $140.2 million. And encumbrances at $1.6 million. And that's Fund 173. For Fund 157, remained relatively the same with the exception of the revenues and interest, where there was interest earned, and also an expense for banking expenses, which will be in the life-to-date expenses.
Did you ever determine for us
that $3,000, is that a monthly charge on that bank account?
So it's about 900, it's about 900. If you look at your ledger, by the way, I did attach the ledger for Fund 157, and I have 173 here, which I would pass out. If you look at the 157 there, the charges are roughly around $982 a month.
So we're paying $982 a month for the bank to keep $5 million in it, there's no activities going on.
Yeah.
We got $4 million left, Mayor, and that has to be held in reserve for the last bond payment. And there's about $1 million available that's just rolled over from other projects that we were going to spend on the next appropriate project for it. So there's $5 million in that account. And for a year or two, there'd been no transactions out of the account, but we're paying $987 a month to let the bank keep that money.
Yeah.
Is there any, did you find out why take that?
Yeah, so conversely, there's earned interest.
I know we're getting interest, but we ought to be getting interest anyway.
Right.
I'm not questioning the interest. They're gonna pay interest because they got money in the bank. Why do we pay $1,000 a month to let them have a bank account that's dormant?
Yeah, so, and that's what Cadence, has been charging. I think I did share.
He did, but the question is, why?
Well, those are the.
What does it take to change it?
Well, one, there was an RFP that went out. The city has to select new depository accounts, services, and at that point, we'll find out what the new bank will be assessed.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the last meeting when we discussed this, we asked you to, it was actually the May meeting, we asked you to find out under what terms and conditions of that agreement with the bank, it says they get to charge $1,000 a month for that account. I mean, there's got to be something written in there. We charge $987.20 every month just to hold your money.
Mr. Mumbo?
Yes.
You say it is an interest-bearing account?
Yes.
What does it receive in interest?
So approximately about $2,000 a month. Yeah. Commissioner Perry, I did not
Okay.
get that information. Let me make a note here and follow up. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just, and the RFP told us, I believe it was in March and April that it was going out. When's the RFP supposed to have a response back to it? Or what, is that something that's on the agenda for all the bank accounts?
I'm not aware of
Yeah.
the accounts being up for consideration right now, so this is news to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was news to me to say that we're paying $1,000 a month just to let them hold our money.
Yeah.
So we have an RFP that's on the streets, or it's been responded to, and we just need to make a decision.
It has, and I believe they're waiting for the new administration to be in place right now. And so that information will be coming to your office for review.
All right, let's try to get to it this week.
Yeah.
4%. We could pay a mile of a 2-lane road with that.
Yeah. That's right.
There's somebody who wants that mile.
Any further questions on the financials,
Not on these, but there is a question of update
on the update?
on the work. We talked about it in May, we talked about it in June, about trying to get resolutions of what had been going on with all these accounts. And the first part of July, I had a meeting with Jillian and Carmen, and I can't give you their last names.
Cardwell, Jillian Cardwell, Carmen
And
Jones,
then
Benita Jones, Wells.
you were there for part of it, Ms. Tim or whatever. And specifically trying to get answers on what went on with the Tiger Grant, the North State Street and the West County line. And it's mostly around the West County line, it's not around the North State Street. In my opinion, it's around West County line because it was the last one completed. North State Street got almost finished before the other one got really started because of a lot of right-of-way issues. And there are a lot of charges to our 173 fund in those accounts that didn't make a lot of sense to me. The correct miscoding for check number so and so and so and so. Dozens of charges. And they said they would look up, try to figure out what they were and see what they were. My question was, it looked like it was the Fed, MDOT paying money back which would be a credit, but it's listed as a debit to the account, so it's coming out of the account. When I met with them in July, they said they'd get the information by the end of July. Didn't have it. Mr. Malametta said they thought it was August the 8th. They didn't have it. Last Friday at 4:30, I got a list of all this stuff from Carmen, looking at it, which I haven't been able to ascertain everything about it. But it is clear to me that we have been charged several $1 million more for those Tiger grants than what we approved. From what, now, they might come back and have a different answer from it. I mean, Carmen put a qualification on when she sent it. This is subject to review and subject to this, that, and the other. But it's what I got last Friday night. And for those of you that were around the Tiger grant, you will remember the city didn't have its matching funds. They were going to come up with it as they went along. Well, I think they made their matching funds out of our funds over and above what we approved. Now, we had a lot of discussion at the last meeting about if we can't get this resolved and get an answer, we need an audit. I know that the city has been talking about looking and trying to get an overall financial audit, forensic audit, which I'm going to talk to in just a second. You know, we discussed about our accounts, whether we had the authority to go do an audit. Again, reading the statute, which is always fun to do. Actually, I think we do. Our statute requires us to get a financial audit done every year by an independent auditor, and it'd be given to all the commissioners and to the legislature. In the past, the city has claimed they were meeting that requirement by the city's overall audit, which included our funds. That audit was looking at, was every check written paying a bill, as best I can tell what an auditor generally does. Was there a legitimate bill for this expenditure? Not looking at whether that should have been charged this account rather than that account. But what I'm going to suggest that we give an endorsement and support to the mayor and the administration in their discussion about trying to get a forensic audit of the whole city. And if that's what they're going to do, that we could do whatever we could to help. Barring that, we talked about getting an audit, Mr. Byrne, I believe you're the one that raised it. It does say we can pay for one out of the 1% funds to have an audit. Now, we couldn't audit the whole city with our 1% funds.
I wish you could.
Yeah, I know you do.
We are about to engage a CPA who, rather than looking at a forensic audit right off the bat, we're going to look at what we think may be problem areas.
Yeah.
And I can very easily say, let's look at this Tiger grant and
We can point to, we can point to a couple of three specific things.
Right.
Most of it's pretty clean. I mean, there were a few little errors that just need to be fixed, but most of it pretty. Tiger grant may be one other one, really the only ones. So if you're going to do that, we would like to.
We're getting what I consider to be a deal on helping us come up with our final budget recommendations, plus a look-see at problem areas, or things that we think might be problem areas. And then if we see enough there, then we'll do a deeper dive on a full forensic audit. But we will point out to that consultant that we want them to specifically look at the Tiger grant as it relates to 1% sales tax.
We can point to all what we have and agree with the commissioner.
Right.
Now, I want you to understand, Mayor, that covers a period of time from like 2018 to 2023. It wasn't all done at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's several years, but it's a limited number of transactions.
Yeah, I don't think that would be
Yeah,
that
okay.
difficult.
Thank you, sir.
We've got a federal judge waiting on us, and we don't want you to be late. So
I wouldn't be late for it.
yeah, but I'll be reaching out individually to each of you and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks,
Thanks
appreciate
very
it.
much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
I remember when Robert brought the idea of this project up. Remember when we were meeting in the little conference room next door?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we went through that over and over, you know. And they did not have the matching funds for it. and they finally said they were gonna start. You remember at first, this MDOT was saying we had to have all the funds available in the bank.
Yeah.
And they finally, we can cut a deal with MDOT, that MDOT would reimburse monthly as they went along. And then by the time they got through our $6 million, they would just keep on. It looks like they got through our $6 million and just kept on charging it. Yeah, I mean, it clearly looks to me like they were paying T.L. Wallace and Neil Schaefer. But they were just paying it out of this account rather than out of some other city fund account. And they didn't have the matching funds, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and I haven't looked at the information I was sent, but I think from just the initial review, I think that's what.
That's what it looks like.
I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't total up the numbers she sent, but the numbers I did not have good numbers for from 2020 to 23. And what she sent for that period of time was $3.5 million, which would be about right if there hadn't been anything before that. There's another $3 or $4 million before that, and that's for the West County line. So,
Was that from one fund, Fund 173?
173, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even done the bond at that point.
No.
Okay, if no further discussion on financials, moving on to project updates. Do we have anybody update us on projects?
Chad Tolles was here from Neil Schaefer, which would help us.
Oh, there you are. I looked at your usual seat up here, Chad.
He's on the back row.
Yeah, I can get it updated.
Yeah, we would appreciate that, thank you.
I don't know, but I'll just give it.
Come up here and have a
It's not a lot to update. Phase 1A, they're substantially complete and they're in the process of doing the punch list, which is 95% adjusting manholes that they didn't do in the first go-round or the first time through. Hopefully, end of August, 1st of September, they should be through the punch list. Phase 1A will be done.
Let me ask you about that.
Yes.
That's almost exactly what you told us in June. That they're 95%, all they had to do is punch list 95%.
No, they're,
They were dealing with punch. We had a couple of little questions about a couple of problems. They were working on the punch list, because I asked you if they submitted final bill yet. You said, no, you weren't going to submit it until they finished. I hadn't seen any activity on any of these streets since June. And I drive across many of these manholes every day. So my question is, how long is it going to take them to adjust these manholes?
well, I think in June, at the June meeting, because their contract ended June 30. I think at the June meeting, when I said 95%, I meant 95% with the, not counting the punch list, to get to a substantial
Okay, well,
completion.
that still leaves July and half of August.
Right.
I have not been supportive of what Matt was arguing for and everything else about having liquidated damages because they were late on getting all this. Because a lot of their lateness was due to some problems with the city, storm drains and sewers and whatever else. But I am going to turn around and be supportive if they can't address the minor little punch list, which is, back in April, they were going around, had a trailer full of manhole risers and burners and doing this, and were working. And they worked about 4 or 5 days, and I haven't seen them back again on any of these streets.
Yeah, that's probably right.
And they have not, they have not done anything to address it. They need to finish the job up.
How much are they, is being held? I mean, is it just 5% retainage? What's the-
It's probably, it's a little more than the 5% retainage. It was a little bit left plus the 5%. So I can't think of
That's
this one
fine,
yet.
I just,
How
Well,
so much of that.
Well, just to say, we, at the June meeting, we added $1 million because it was gonna be an overrun. Maybe that was the May meeting, I was kind of wish, but we added $1 million because there's gonna be a bill, and then the final bill is gonna be an overrun. So my guess is somewhere between 500 and $1 million is what was, retainage plus some last bit of work.
That's right.
I mean, are you actually like in dialogue with anybody in a position of authority at D&D? Isn't that who has that contract?
Yes. Yeah, I talk to them from time to time, yes.
I mean, I find that sometimes contractors have trouble focusing on that last.
Yeah,
3%.
I know, I received word that, no, they won't, they're ready to be done with this project.
I bet they are.
Their concrete sub, I was told this morning, has finished their part of the punch list, but again, that was a small percentage of the punch list.
Did their concrete sub say that the concrete sub finished their part of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you see?
I mean, they just,
As I,
we took pictures of some storm drains last week that are
but 1 week ago today,
100% full. So unless they've gone up, maybe they have gone over there in the last week.
what's the hills?
No, I don't know about that.
No, you do. We talked about it. I sent you pictures. There's a manhole, there's a catch basin that they didn't finish building this side of it.
Right, yeah.
And it's full of dirt, concrete debris, 2x4 framing, and sandbags.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot about every single little
Yeah.
jot and tittle of what's going on in the contract, but I literally have never seen storm drains as full as these. I don't know how all that stuff got in there,
Okay.
but like, it's going to take a couple of guys, a couple of hours at each one of these to just get the stuff. It's beyond like a back truck. It's 2x4 sand, asphalt chunks.
This is not like what was in Bellhaven. This is not a question about whether it was milling debris that filled it up.
And I don't
Construction
know,
debris.
yeah, it's 100% construction.
Well, because it was, those streets were paved in
Plus a couple of rains.
April of last year. April a year ago. That's where we came up with the question about curbs. And we went and did big change. So they didn't go back there. In December of last year, the neighborhood association cleaned out all their storm drains. We got pictures with dates on them of the cleaned out storm drains in December. All the paving was done in April and May. The concrete work, the curbs and the catch basins were done in March of this year. And it is construction debris. It's not the Bellhaven question. I don't know about the answer on the Bellhaven question, but it's not that. This is the concrete guys filling it up.
I remember specifically 2 inlets in Woodland Hills that I put on the punch list that their form work was still inside of it.
Yeah.
And so, but as far as fill it up, I don't, but if you could send me the pictures, that'd be great.
Yeah. It's the same two. It's the same two where the formwork was in there, but but also, I mean, one of the catch basins wasn't even built right. It's wide open on the north side of it. They framed here and here, but this side of it, here's the metal frame and here's open space till you go down to the dirt.
Okay.
I mean, so it's,
Jeff?
that's one of them.
Commissioner.
I would like just a functional question. And the answer may be nobody here knows yet. Is there a new public works director?
No.
Okay. Like, I feel like a lot of times this commission, Pete, to your credit, because you go through it, and frankly, I'm glad you're here because you know more what's going on, with this stuff than anybody, and it gives us a lot of cover. Is there a timeline for that? Do we know? Is there a search going on? Because it seems to me like a lot of times it feels like this commission, largely you, Pete, are doing the job that's not really your job. And I'm glad you're doing it because it's
An unofficial answer to your question was,
Are you applying? Is that what?
no. We had this discussion the other day, and
Okay.
this is not an official answer from the city, but I was told that they're looking to have somebody by the end of the year.
Okay. It just seems to be, and I know there's been a lot of flux over the past several months, clearly.
It's frustrating.
New
He doesn't have
administration.
anybody to talk to.
I know, that's why I don't think it's not, there's a lot of missing links here that are existing, and so, and everybody's trying to do the best they can in the scenario that exists, but it just seems to me there's some big missing puzzle pieces.
That's a really good point. Is there some component of a program manager or something we could, on an interim basis?
We cannot pay for it. We cannot pay for employees.
Right. But we paid for program management.
And the auditor went and took that out and said you couldn't charge it this account. We paid IMS $800,000. And the audit in 2018, this was one of the issues we came up with. Same thing, by the way, about the equipment, the vac truck and the pothole patching machine.
Right.
The auditor said that cannot be paid for with our money because we can't buy equipment, we can't pay for people. mean,
So how do we,
I-
I mean, how do we keep the city from getting so far behind like for MPO projects? I mean, don't we have to be
Wait, wait.
aligned for that now?
I think things are in the works to deal with that. Again, unofficially, from what I was led to believe, that they're looking for what to do between, right now, Lewis Rice, Peter Tweeson is acting public works director. Is that correct? That's what he told me.
Yeah, they report up to him.
They report up to him.
I know Terry doesn't like the idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is the person responsible for public works.
Yeah.
And so, but I think there's, from what I was told, there's things in play to deal with between now and December. It's needed, I think.
How many open projects do we have right now?
No, the open, well.
1% or?
Just
Oh,
one.
we got-
I can't worry about the city.
Quite a few.
We got these three.
Quite a few, yeah.
We got these three.
Right.
The one we just approved at the last meeting, Thomas Ketchum Bridge construction started this morning, I found out.
Okay.
McDowell Road paving construction probably fixing to start on there.
Okay.
There's about 3 or 4 engineering contracts underway, but no construction work. I think the only construction work we've got going is McDowell Road, off Thomas Ketchum's, and these three neighborhood streets.
And I think, I mean, just judging from memory here, we would like to see Woodrow Wilson.
That's gonna come up in a minute.
Okay, so, I mean, but that's like,
Well,
that's not under construction yet, but I think that would.
Well,
have
there's a
1%
big
potentially.
discussion we've got to have about it. I just had with William from LPA here, which is after this. They might put a different spin on
I mean,
it.
I don't know the answer to the question I just had, other than it's in process.
Yeah.
I mean, the kicker is, how do we finish what's in front of us right now? I mean, that, and not what the link is.
My question is, how do we start from the new? There's a round of opening for LPA projects, MPO projects. Starts in October, it has to be submitted by December. It's a big punch of money. We ought to be applying for some of it. Something's got to be done to deal with that.
Yeah.
I mean, from
Administratively.
if the city's got to do it, we will have an input, because so far we pay for all of them, but certainly I think we want to be in that mix, and that discussion is kind of opened up in the last day or two about how can we move that forward so that we don't lose the December deadline. It's one of the things, along with Woodrow Wilson, we need to talk about. And very good point. I think they're very well aware of it, but just like the rest of the stuff coming out of the fire hose, they ain't figured out how to deal with it yet.
So,
Because it was just left with nothing.
Yeah, I understand.
so specifically moving forward, you're also doing inspection on B and C, right? So I've encouraged Jason directly a number of times to make sure his guys are doing rising rings. And so is there anything, are you seeing proactivity from AdCam's side of things
Yes.
to handle those?
Yes.
That's,
Can I ask a simple
that's
question?
my expectation, but
Along the same way. Why don't they put the manholes at the right level when they pave it, rather than do what they do and come back? I mean, while they're doing it, why can't they just go ahead and sell them and pave it?
With this, with phase 1A, Dickerson and Bowen's strategy was, they had a sub for paving. And they decided to let the sub handle all the milling and paving, and they would come back and handle all the manhole and water valve adjustments. So that's why it's such a separate
I
thing
think
with
it's
1A.
also extraordinarily common that this is the practice. I don't think this is by any means out of the norm.
It's
But I was-
extraordinarily common in Jackson. It's not in surrounding cities to not.
Maybe
put
not
the
every
manhole
city,
at the right level.
I'd ask the engineer, but there's other cities that the same thing happens. I don't.
you don't want to just raise it.
Yeah, up and down, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a common deal, it's
I mean,
not.
the way I first saw it was when we got our first MPO projects, I was driving down Lake
Yeah.
Harbor in Richmond back in 2018, and all theirs was smooth, and I drove back over hours and hours, just
Yeah.
like ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum.
But they
That's
don't,
where you right outside your office from the project we did on Oak County.
to answer your original question, they don't raise them because they don't want to be liable for slashing people's tires.
They're-
They have an inch and a half
Wire.
of metal ring sitting up above it. So it's
Well,
got to be done while it's
okay,
being
but
paid. It's
Then
not
why
because the
don't,
output.
then when they mill one that's at the right level, they got that ring sitting up an inch
They
and a
do,
half high.
and they feel differently about that.
Okay, so I mean, if they mill around it, they've got that.
Yeah.
Put it in there right before you start paving. You gave a good answer. D&B was not doing their own paving, they were gonna do that. You think AdCamp's gonna
So, yeah, so far they're doing it, because AgCamp's handling all the paving, and
Okay.
they're doing it as they go.
Okay. Is that a city project, the Lakeland Drive, the work they're doing right now?
No,
MDOT?
MDOT. Lakeland Drive all the way to I-55 is the city. I mean, is MDOT.
Yeah,
USI, is that one?
because they were building
Yeah,
this morning,
that's not.
those manholes through.
Good. Any other further questions for Chad?
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, sir. Update on Woodrow Wilson.
That's, William, I don't know if you want to get drug into this or not, but,
I can.
you're going to before it's over with, I'll start it. This is William with the.
You already said his name.
With MDOT. And I asked him about Woodrow Wilson before we started. And he can give the update with this. They haven't worked out the C&I contract yet. Once they do, they'll be ready for bids. Here's the issue. The contractor's estimate right now is slightly above $7 million. We got $2 million with federal money, $750,000 with MDOT money. Contractor's estimate is $7 million. MDOT's estimate could be as much as 8 or 9. So the question is, and this might be an issue with the city as well as with us, but are we prepared to put $6 million, 1% money into Woodrow Wilson? My question to, well, depends on what you want to spend it for. Spend it on South State Street, Woodrow Wilson, never mind. A suggestion, and I'm not saying this is mine, MDOT's, or anybody else's, but would be to turn down the 2017 award of $2 million and apply for it again with either a reduced scope of the project or asking for more money in this round that comes up October through December.
Does that money go back in the pot if it's turned around?
If it's turned in before October.
If we turn, now if we take it, wouldn't be us turning it in, we'd have to be talking to the city. The city could turn it in, and city apply for a new Woodrow Wilson project. Either reducing the scope of what we're gonna do, asking for more money, or a combination of the two.
Where did we ultimately fall? Because there was the turn lane issue, and like, what was the award based upon?
The original award, the
I
original
thought we said we
award,
were never gonna talk about this project again.
We talk about it.
the mayor said he never wanted to hear from it again, so he just left us.
Some way.
The original project included the turn lanes, and went all the way through this Woodrow Wilson to Mill Street Bridge. MDOT came to us after we started and said, continue that lane on the north side all the way from where it comes off the interstate down to State Street and turn on the state. They said we'd put $750,000 in to do that. Let me say, we were told that they said that. There was never anything official. But then after that, when we talked about all the projects and everything else and money, we were never reminded that $750,000. Charles Williams never brought up that there was $750,000 over there, which might have skewed our thinking a little bit, I don't know. This is 2019-20. But MDOT had agreed to continue that lane, go all the way out. We took bids, this is 2020, ARPA money's coming in, everybody's busy, city wasn't paying its bills, all kinds of issues. It's a concrete road, it's not asphalt. Got one bid, it was from Simmons. And it was $5.5 million. We said no, city said no, they took bids again, Simmons again was on the bidder. Now it's even worse because it's into 2020. We then suggested, hey, let's give the project to MDOT and let them do it. More contractors might bid for MDOT because they pay the bills. MDOT said sure, but then they got concerned about the 36-inch water line running down the median. They said they wanted the city to indemnify them for the water line. They sent over an MOA, this city attorney's office didn't respond to it, and didn't answer, and didn't do whatever for 9 or 10 months, never got it back. MDOT said, screw you, we ain't gonna do it unless you replace the water line.
Nope, time it.
Let me finish, excuse me, let me finish first.
Okay.
You're not a member of the commission, let me finish.
Yeah, sure.
MDOT said they wanted to replace the water line. The mayor, Robert Lee, met with the commissioner and MDOT people. The estimate was $350,000, $400,000 for the water line. Robert said, no, it's probably gonna cost $600,000. We said, let's wait and see, get an engineer to engineer it. The water line to replace it was $3.5 million. We said, no, we're not gonna replace it. Jackson Water said they didn't want to replace it. It's not leaking, they had no problem with it. The worry being tearing up all that concrete out there, it might take the 6-year-old water line and damage it. So we said we wouldn't replace it, so MDOT said they weren't interested anymore. So we took the project back. Now we found that after we went and told Michael Baker to revise the plans and bring them up to common standards, they said to the MDOT, everybody's fine except for UMC, we can give the right-of-way for his sidewalk. The sidewalk wasn't part of our project. That was another grant the city got, they added into this one. And I guess we were paying Michael Baker to do that engineer. But UMC wouldn't give the right-of-way, so we had to go take the sidewalk back out, the sidewalk that's with the other grant, back out. And so that's where it is now. Project plans are complete, MDOT's approved them, everything's ready to go once they get. MDOT also agreed, we confirmed, this about 2 years ago, we confirmed, MDOT said, yeah, we'll still give you the $750,000. And in addition, we'll pay for the CNI. They said they'd pick up the CNI, they said if we could pick the generators, they'd pick them. And so Garver's gonna be the CNI, MDOT's gonna pay that, they're gonna give us the $750. That's where we are.
We should have a pretty, I mean, you wouldn't know necessarily because you don't know how many projects are gonna come in, but you know what it would score, just raw. Do we already know what size the pot is? So you can get the percentage of the funds?
I've been told 32 to 34-ish million is in the pot this time around, for MPO funds.
Yeah.
that is.
So we would know whether you'd be likely to get it or not, based on past years'
I mean,
submission.
considering the traffic pattern there, which is doing nothing but increasing. I mean, it meets every standard we had. Hell, it was one, this project was approved in 2017, when the pot was 18 million and we got 9 out of it. This is the first year Jackson actually gone in for MPO money because they never had the match before that. And so, you know, I don't know how much it could be reduced down in the scope. I don't know enough about the scope that we hadn't heard.
Personally, I don't know that I would, you said 6 million would be the part right now, based upon the current funding that we have, we think it'd be 6 million plus discussion at the before.
If they put it out for bids today, it might take $5 to $6.5 million for us to do the project, along with the federal money and them documentation.
Michael?
So, who's gonna apply for that?
Has to be the city.
Be the city.
And is there a mechanism in place for them to
I-
apply right now?
I think we're gonna get the mechanism in place. We're not, I think we and others involved can have enough input with the city to figure out a way that they will apply in that window from October to December. Not just for that project, but for some others.
Well, I was going to bring that up. I had a number of calls. I know we've discussed Old Canton Road, you know, from County Line all the way down to Canton Mark, being a potential MPO project. And I don't know how we pressed the city on keeping that in front of them. Well, did we talk about paying for some engineering on that?
We have paid for the engineering.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We've already got the engineering done, which will make it easy to apply for the MPO. One time, about 7 years ago, there was a discussion about doing a joint project with Ridgeland, doing Old Canton Road from here past county line into Ridgeland. The county is also interested in looking at Old Canton Road. It might be the county might want to help apply in joint some way with the county on Old Canton Road. But I think there's another one that I think we ought to consider. 2017-19, we applied for Pearl Pascagoula coming off the interstate. Where it turns into city, man, Robert Lee told us it didn't score high enough because it didn't have high enough traffic, because it's one way and one way. What I was looking at was saying, let's apply for it and make it a joint project and say, it's really a 4-lane road, it's just got 2 lanes to it, so count the traffic both ways and make an argument for it.
So I think this year, the focus has got to be just on simple projects that can actually get applied for and then manage, right? So like, maybe that is a symbol, because you're just talking about an overlay.
There's an
So I
overlay.
think overlays are a great idea. I think that's, and that's, we can talk about the other Woodrow Wilson too in that category. I mean, we've got a potential way to get that to be ready to apply, but we just need to get things over the line to be able to be ready to apply, you know.
I was gonna raise that. The next question would be, do you want to turn down Woodrow Wilson 2, send that money back and redesign it? Well, we got the design done and ready. I mean, I think
With a close,
Southern, yeah, they could tell us, but close enough where we could do that with the road diet and all we talked about doing there differently, and send that $2.5 million back and apply for them again. Now, some people think, and y'all two know more about this than any of the rest of us, that turning money back is a negative to the MPO.
I don't think that'd be
Okay.
it's a criteria. They go down a checklist, they rank, you see all the rankings at the end of the day. There is no positive or
Okay, so-
negative. It either has a score or it doesn't. I mean, you've been in 1,000 of them. Has a score or it doesn't. That's it.
Yeah.
And the criteria is all out there, so you can run your numbers, and the only thing you're needing to gain basically is how much money you want to ask for and how much local share you're willing to put in, because both a smaller total percentage of the pot and more local share have numbers. But I've sat with engineers and made decisions about, hey, we gain nothing by putting any more local dollars in here, because we'd have to add, whatever, 200,000 more dollars out of $1 million just to bump us up to the next point level. So we, you know,
But see, that would
It's
be
not worth it.
helpful, because in our first application, Robert sold us on putting 25% to help us.
so that, and it does help you,
But
but,
it might help you, like you say, you gotta run the numbers and calculate and see.
right, it's just a spreadsheet.
We cut it back to 20%, which is the minimum. You know, if putting 25 would help on Woodrow Wilson and bringing our $6 million down, you know, increasing a little bit, but bringing down the big thing and doing it again, you know, we could raise it. If it doesn't, running the calculation would be worthwhile rather than just an arbitrary, be able to throw out that numbers.
So I guess my question would be, as the commission, it goes back to the commission business, not city business, could the commission authorize funding to make those applications?
No.
No, because it's not
But we,
technically designed or.
but the city can hire a grant writer or Neil Schaefer, whoever, to
I
submit
mean,
on
the
their
city,
behalf.
the city could do it, and we've already paid for on Woodrow Wilson, Wilson 2, on Old Canton Road, the expensive part, which is the engineering. If we want to put in a state street for this section that we talked about from the old Capitol down to the railroad, that's already been done 2 years ago. So, I mean, the engineering, the expensive part's there. And I think we just have to go on faith right now that the city is going to have somebody operating the 5th floor up here to get work done and out that would include this funded somehow, whatever it takes, whether it's a consultant, whether it's a grant writer, whether it's transferring somebody over, whether it's borrowing somebody. I don't know, but I think the city up until a couple of days ago did not know that this round of funding is coming up. Talking to, and Mayor Horn still probably does. Peter's aware of it, so now it's just a matter of getting the focus on how to deal with it, because you don't want to let it go by. I don't think we ought to let that be our worry. I think that's going to get taken care of. Then the question might be how to do it, but no, we can't spend money for.
Does the engineering count towards the 20%?
No, preliminary engineering does not.
He's not.
He is not. But on Old Canton, on Woodrow Wilson, on all these others, it's already done.
Yeah. Okay, wasn't there some design in there for some fixing the signals that are all out of whack? Did not.
But let me back up. I don't know, Elmore Moody's the engineer on that, but you got $1 million to do from Parham Bridges to County Line Road. And because Robert Lee was the one that was here when they gave him the contract, I'm sure he said fix the traffic.
That's what I remember him saying. I remember Robert saying something about the
I'm
traffic.
sure, yeah, we can
Does that
fix the
score you any
traffic,
better with the
we can fix the traffic signal if it's part of.
They don't look at the merits of the project.
They just look at the dollars.
They're just running,
Quick, I mean, this commission only has the ability to spend money or not spend money and give authorization to the council to say yes or no, right? That's our role. I think this may be a good time to take a step back, because we're talking about a lot of projects that we don't have the money to do in totality, right? We can plan for them, we can do them over the course of time, that's what our job is, I think. Like right now, it's like, I don't know how much we have, left that we can spend. There's just a lot of moving parts here that I don't know that we have a great grasp on, especially with a new administration in place. Like, how do we take a step? Y'all have done this. Ted, Pete, Michael, Jeff, you've been here for a long time. How do we take a step back and maybe revisit what our plan is? And I think the great thing is I was able to come on the commission in a time where everything finally started going in the right direction and a lot of pay, which was nice. And that's the perspective I've been able to have as opposed to what all happened before that. But how do we get back to that? Because I would assume you're in that position, like, right? You've only been here 6 months at this point, and nothing's happened,
I'll pay.
Well,
I'll pay.
Which is good, which is great. It's a good start.
yeah,
Very important.
the 3 months from March to the end of June, I think there wasn't gonna be a whole lot of activity. Just like
100% is expected.
And it's time now to move forward. The problem is needing the public works department
To be able to coordinate it, yeah.
And we can't control that, but we can certainly encourage it.
But I don't even know.
But I think in answer to your question, depending on what the results of this issue about the Tiger Grant is, we might have $7 or $8 more million than we think we got.
I'm with you. But we talked about that one, we talked about State Street, we talked about, you start going down the list of projects, we're talking about, there's a lot of projects that it's an untold millions of dollars that we don't really know what the amount is.
But if you got approved for those, the deadline to apply for them is in December, the approval will come back in February. Some of them, the way NPO does it, some of them can be done in 2026, some can be done in 2027. Some of them, they won't turn loose their money in 2028, so our money has to tie.
Well, and I guess clearly based upon the Woodrow Wilson, like, we could just sit on the Woodrow Wilson project forever if we didn't give it back.
No, if we don't give it back, they'll take it back eventually.
Well, I know, but we're almost 10 years in and they haven't taken it back.
Because NDOT's been very nice to them.
Fair enough. Like, you're being nice.
Yeah, in this most recent iteration of this project, we granted a 1-year extension.
So you're at that point now.
That expires in February.
Got it. So you've said the kind of the clock.
They rolled. And I imagine Woodrow Wilson too is getting to be about the same time.
It's not there yet.
But they can just take it back. The one question we got, let's back up a step. One question we could do, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, we could take bids on Woodrow Wilson 1 right now and see what the bids come in. And then see if it's $9 million, we don't want it. But we'd have to have that answer before October 1 so we can turn the money back in before October 1. And we might be pissing contractors off to go do it.
I don't think you want to do a bid.
I don't think we do either.
Unless you're ready.
I don't think we want to either. But then the question comes, and it's not me, I can't do this. You might can help. You got an engineer's estimate on the project at 7. You got MDOT guessing 8.5 to 9. Which one do you want to go with?
Since it's a city project, it has to be the engineer estimate.
No, I'm saying, what do we want to go with?
Oh,
But do we want to guess that this engineer's estimate of $7 million is low or high? Do we want to bring them in here and have them explain it to us? Make an argument for how good he thinks it is. I don't know.
I think we'd like to have the city give us some priorities, and then we can support those priorities, right? Like, isn't that the best? We know that there's like a
The priority
menu of
for the city is to get Woodrow Wilson done. They don't know about this option we're talking about. Their priority is to get Woodrow Wilson done. Peter said that the other night.
Oh, okay,
They want to see Woodrow Wilson done.
okay.
But they don't know about this question about, this didn't come up until today.
Yeah.
Do we want to, I didn't know it was $8 or $9 million possibility. I've been guessing 7. And so the question is, do we want, the city doesn't know where they are with sending the money back and reapplying or not, because they ain't even heard of it. We don't have to make that decision today. I'm just saying it's where we are.
Okay.
I got a question. What, just asking Paul this. You know, the biggest issue on Woodrow Wilson is at the top of the hill where the city's contractor tore up the water line, fixed the water line, and didn't fix the road, right? What if we just fix the road? Kick the project, don't spend $6 million. What if it's $500,000 to fix those spots on both
Well,
sides that makes it cut down to one lane
well,
and
what-
call it a day?
But what if you send it back, cut the project back down to just a state street, and still added the third lane? Adding that lane that MDOT suggested is a very good idea.
Mhm.
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
Now, if we just fix that spot that you're talking about, that would solve a lot of the problem. It wouldn't solve all the problem, but it'd solve a lot of the problem, but it wouldn't add the lane.
I feel like
No,
this,
but I mean, it's like Paul says, every time he goes to church on Sunday, everybody goes down to one lane because the road's so crappy. You know, you're gonna end up in that other lane anyway if you hit it. It's like if just the road was repaired properly, does it really need to be paved and dug up and add another lane and all that? What if we just fix it and let's move on to something else? Let MDOT worry about it.
Hey, gentlemen, let me just tell you, there's a task force meeting scheduled for this room at 3 o'clock.
What else you got? Go, we can go.
I got-
We'll be a dead horse.
I got
That's
two
a tight
real quick
schedule.
things.
Can I make one comment before you do that? On this project, I feel like we need to punt and re-envision and rethink Woodrow Wilson, because there's way too many iterations of what could be, what might be, where we have been, and all that. I feel like we've completely lost our way.
I think we have, and I think this is just, I wouldn't even say this for decision day, I just think it's a thought. There were two quick things we had to talk about. One of them won't do much good in here, because it's gone. There was talk about changing the meeting date of our commission meeting. We years ago said we're gonna meet on the first Wednesday of the month, changed it to second Wednesday of the month when we moved in this room. Some people have conflicts in the middle of the month, traveling people that actually work. And so there's a suggestion about moving it to Monday. We can still meet here. Jonathan asked for it, I think somebody else.
I don't care, as long as I know in advance, I don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
I make my schedule, I just need to,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I don't care either. Does anybody have a preference about it?
There is conflict with scheduling in this room though, I
No,
guess.
on Monday, I checked out there when I came in. If we went to the second or third Monday,
It'd be in the afternoon still.
at 2 o'clock, but, I mean, we could do it, we could do it anytime. We could do it Tuesday. Now, the conflict with this room is Monday at 10 o'clock. If we did it Monday at 10 o'clock, they have a director's meeting. So
I would prefer not to be in Monday morning.
I prefer not to be on Monday
Monday
morning.
really bad time for.
Yeah, the question, if it's on Tuesday, is the council meets the first and third?
Well, every
Every
other,
other Tuesday,
every other.
and then Monday's the
Where I
second.
fall,
So like every other.
So I-
depends on how the month falls, it changes.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
other,
you can't.
every other.
Every other, I mean, so Peter, when we talked about it with Peter the other night, he said he didn't care if it was on council because it's either 11 o'clock in the morning or 6 at night, or if it was Monday because they have a work session before it, that was fine with them too. I think, put it on the thought process about if we want to change or not. I mean, it's just a suggestion maybe. It's up to us to decide when we meet.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully that didn't,
That'd be great.
you know, refund you felt like
This
this.
is the first time we've had that in the, here.
No. But for a while, we hadn't been here when they
Good
came in,
qualifier.
but they came in and told us we were on probation because the city intern in an audit.
How long ago was that?
That was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Long.
Yeah.
Been a lot.
You want a motion? You want a
Yes.
motion adjourned. Second.
See y'all.
Thank you for letting me know.